Breaking now, a car drives through a group of protesters in Bloomington this evening. We want to warn you, the video that we're about to show you may be disturbing to some viewers. Now, the video was sent to us by one witness. It shows a car speeding away with people still hanging on top of the car. Tonight, we know that a man and a woman were injured. Organizers say the woman had a head injury, the man had abrasions. Now, we don't know if the driver has been arrested.
This all happened during an hours-long protest that was sparked from a disturbing video that is now going viral from over the weekend. Now, here is some of that video that was shared to Facebook showing a white man pinning a black man to a tree with several people yelling to let him go, which he eventually did. Now, that man joined today's protest demanding justice and arrests in this case. CBS 4's Brett Cass also following that protest throughout the evening.
And Brett, we know it was a very emotional and dramatic day in Bloomington. This has all been going on for several hours now. You just spoke to a witness, we understand, who saw that crash after the protest had ended. And what did that witness tell you?
Well, Debbie, as you said, it was as the protest was wrapping up in front of the courthouse. We had been there all day and it had been very peaceful. Protest organizers tell me that a red car then, after the protest ended, drove through the protesters that were walking through the crosswalk, ramming two people who ended up on the hood of the car. The driver then hit the accelerator and then turned at an intersection, which sent two people flying off of the car. Now, the organizer that we spoke to tells me that a female was transported to the hospital. We're still working to get more information on her condition. He said she was bleeding quite heavily when he saw her taken away in an ambulance, and we still do not know if the driver of the car has been tracked down. Now, first responders were still on the scene around 10:30 tonight when we spoke to that witness about what happened.
We had really just ended on a good note. Like, everybody had smiles on their faces and we're heading home. And within the blink of an eye, just everything went from joyous to absolute chaos.
Now, again, that happened in the crosswalk, and as he said, a majority of the day it was extremely peaceful. We had been there for quite a while and left as protesters were walking around the streets. They had kneeled at some intersections like other protests we had seen in the past. Protesters said they were angry. Charges still had not been filed in that case earlier, but they also say these protests are a continuation of other protests that have been happening for months. On the steps of the Monroe County Courthouse, a few hundred people showed up to demand justice for Vox Booker, a Bloomington man who says he was attacked and threatened near Lake Monroe over the weekend.
It was that moment, Willie, a white lady that had heard the commotion and had came to intervene, yelled, "Don't kill him."
Vox shared videos of the encounter on Facebook. One of them appears to show a group of white men holding him up against a tree. That video has been viewed more than 4 million times.
While I was pinned down and these men were on top of me asking for a noose, they literally said the term noose. They yelled, leave the boy with us. I wasn't even a man, I was a boy.
Caleb Poor was one of those people who saw the video.
We need the American people to understand that this country is not moving in the right direction. And if we don't come together and if we don't stomp out racism, then we're going to be back to where we were when it was real bad.
The DNR says they are investigating, but so far no charges have been filed and no arrests were made, something protesters want to see happen quickly.
We want justice, we want restitution.
Booker says he has never experienced a situation like this. He wants more action to be taken, but is thankful for those who took action near the lake.
I think the reason why I'm here today is because folks stopped being bystanders and they became active participants. We saw these people weren't only filming my attack, that they were acting to stop these gentlemen. And I hope that we continue to see that movement grow throughout our nation.
Now, protesters also want the DNR officers who responded to the incident to be punished for not arresting the men seen in that video. The names of the men in that video have been shared online, but we have not been able to confirm their identities just yet. We have attempted to reach out. Reporting here in the studio, I'm Brett Cast, CBS 4 News.